Okay, so welcome to this session on Microsoft Planner. Before we begin, I'm going to show you some examples of how you might use Planner in an education or school setting. So this first one I have here is actually embedded in a team. You can see there's a tab at the top labelled Sports Day, and this here is a planner around organising Sports Day. So you can see we've got these things called buckets, pre-organising the event, what's happening on the day, during the event, and so on. And because this planner is in a team, you can see that I've assigned, or someone has assigned these tasks to different people who belong to this team. You can see these are cards which are tasks. And when I tick that off as well, they disappear, but you can see them in the grid view, depending on whether you've got filtering on, clear all. You can also see it as a schedule as well. So if things have been given dates, let's try January. You can see here, these ones have been given dates, so they pop into the schedule calendar, and in the charts you can see when things have been completed. So that one I just completed has shown up there. So that's an example of one you might use if you're planning a whole school event. In Planner, which is a web-based app, I've got another couple of examples to show you. So this is what Planner looks like when you go in for the first time. You might or might not have something in here. So this one here is another example of how a school might use it to help, or a leadership team might use it to help with their school improvement plan and the activities that they're going to do to support their staff and students to achieve those focus areas. So you can see in this one again, this board belongs in a team, and so I've been able to, or someone has been able to assign it to different members of staff according to who is responsible. And you can see some of these tasks, a few people are responsible and some just one. You can see here also these have been tagged. So we've got the focus areas tagged and then the areas of impact as well. So you can see there's a lot of different things you can do to visually see how tasks and activities fit in. Another example I'll show is one around a personal planning board. So this one might be something that a teacher might set up for themselves when they're thinking about setting up everything in week 0. So again, these are buckets. So we've got student resources, digital platforms, classroom setup, curriculum planning, seating, etc. All the kinds of things that you need to think about as a teacher when you're setting up your class in week 0. And then again, you can go through and tick things off once you've done them. The last example is more of a corporate example. So this is very project management type language in here and using the project management template. And you can see here this again lives in a team, so it's assigned to different people. This particular task here has had some progress. 2 out of 4 tasks have been completed. It's got an attachment. If I click into this task, you can see I've got some notes in there, and also people have put in some comments. So really handy if you're working on a project or you're collaborating as a business unit, and there's lots of different things that need to get done. Okay, so just a few examples of how you might use Planner, but really anything where you've got lots of things that need to be completed and you want to track those and assign them to either yourself or different people, Planner is a great application to help you do that. So without further ado, let's jump in and get started. Okay, so we're in the EdPass portal. The reason why I like to come here to access my Microsoft apps, especially if I've got my, if I'm a corporate person with an SA Gov as well as an @schools email, is if I've logged in through EdPass, I know I've got the right Microsoft account. So when I'm in EdPass, if I scroll down, I've got these. You will see the Microsoft Planner 365 tile there. Note here, I've got that icon there. It hasn't been updated yet in the EdPass portal. So you might see that icon change when that gets updated. But let's all select that. And you should come in, and I think you should come in with the My Day. So when we're in Planner, My Day is kind of like your personal checklist that you can do, and you can see these ones are all private tasks. They're not tasks that I'm going to share with anyone. So if you are a person that loves writing down checklists, or even if you want to use it for your shopping list, for example, you can use this to kind of plan your day and your tasks. If you select My Day, let's just add a new task now. And I'm just going to put in update Blink, because I've got to do that now as well. If I want, I can put in a due date. And I can also, oops, if I go into there, wrong due date. If I go into here, I can, should be able to see some more details. So I've just clicked into board. There's my planner one. Here's the one that I've just created. And if I wanted to put some notes into here, I can. So might want to put in a checklist item, tick off people's names. I could put in some notes, log in as edit, etc. So that's my day. Now, if you've got tasks that have been assigned to you in other plans, you can see this account has got some plans down the side, and if they're due for today, let's just go back to the grid, they should come up here in your My Day as well. Now, the My Tasks one here is everything that has been assigned to you. So yours might be blank. Has anyone got anything in there at the moment? No? If it's blank, it just means that you haven't used Planner, or no one in a team you belong to has used Planner and assigned you something. But you can see these ones. This is me here at Edit Learn, and I've got tasks coming up here because they've been assigned to me. All my private tasks here are the ones that I created in that My Day space. Also in here, I've got this thing called flagged emails. So whenever you flag an email in your own inbox, your own Outlook, it will actually automatically create a task for you in Planner. And I'm just going to duck out. Please don't worry about doing this, but I'm just going to duck out into Outlook to show you what I mean as well. So in Outlook, down the side here, you've got this to do. And to do is kind of Planner inbuilt into Outlook. And you'll see it's quite similar with my day, quite similar with a grid and a list. And if I go to my emails in here, if I flag that email there, you will see if I jump back into Planner here, let's go to the grid, there's that Makers Empire one that I just flagged there. So really handy for tracking what you have flagged in your emails as well. So let's just go down to that Makers Empire one, and you can see it's got an attachment in there which should take me to that email. Okay, so we've looked at my day, we've looked at my tasks. Let's now go to my plans. So again, this might be completely empty for you. If it is, we're going to go up to the top here, to the top right, and we're going to select New Plan, because that will help us create a new plan. You've got a whole lot of templates that you can access. Let's select See All Templates. If you've got the upgraded version, so the Project Pro version, you'll see more templates in here. These are very business orientated, so not education orientated, but some of them might be useful, like project management and employee onboarding, for you to adapt. We today just want to use the simple plan one because we're going to build our own. So make sure that one's selected, and then let's click on Use Template. We can give it a name. So because this is a training one, you might want to put training so you remember what it's about. Training Planner, November 2006. Oh, I'm a year ahead. Now, when you create it, you can pin it. That means it will appear down the side. Because this is just a practice one, I'm not going to do that. We can always do that later as well. And then add to a group. A group means a Microsoft Teams. So again, we're going to leave that for the moment, and I'll show you how to go in and add it to a team later. But let's just select Create. Oh dear, Joanne said no, and I'm not sure what. She hasn't seen anything in there, I think. Perfect. Okay, so it's come up with a whole lot of things here called buckets, and it's given us some tasks as well. So the first thing we're going to do is, if I scroll down to, or let's just rename one of these. So I can rename a bucket by just clicking in there and then rename it. So if I'm thinking about my Christmas list of things I might need to do for Christmas, this might be pre-Christmas. This might be Christmas Eve. This might be Christmas. And then I might have Boxing Day. And then holiday cleanup. Okay, but you can use anything that you want that makes sense to you. I've just picked this because it's easy to think of tasks around this time of year. So you can see how this could be my personal one rather than something to do with work. Now, I've just renamed those ones. If I want to add another bucket, I can do that by selecting Add a New Bucket. Let's put in New Year. If I've got too many buckets, or I've created a bucket and I don't need it anymore, maybe I don't need Christmas Eve, I can just go into those three dots, the ellipses, and go delete, and that will get rid of that bucket. Now, if these look like they're in the kind of the right order, but if they're in the wrong order, I can click and drag and move these buckets around as well. So hopefully everyone's at least renamed one bucket. You might have deleted a bucket and hopefully you've added a bucket. I'll just give people time to do that. And then if you can just give me a thumbs up, we can move on to the next bit. Okay, I'll just go back to renaming just in case someone missed that. So this might not be pre-Christmas. Oh gosh, I didn't do a capital, so maybe let's fix that. So all I did was click in there and then I can type. And if I need to move things around, Boxing Day is in the wrong place, I can click and drag to do that. And again, I'm scrolling all the way to the end to add a new bucket. Okay, so hopefully I've given people enough time to do that. Earlier for a question, I know, does Planner plug into MS Forms? So it doesn't plug into MS Forms, Matt, but you can use Forms. You can use Power Automate, so that's what I showed you the screenshot of, or the flow here. You can, I haven't got that one, but you can use a form to trigger a task to be created. So if you, for example, have a staff requesting leave form, and off the back of that form you want an admin staff to organise a TRT, someone to put in funding or all the things associated with that leave request, you can set up a flow to do that. Okay, so we're in here. These ones are a bit useless, so I'm going to delete those. So I'm going to click here on those three dots again and delete and delete. Let's delete them all. And then I'm going to add a new task. So that's popped up because I didn't have any tasks. But if you want to add a new task under any of these buckets, you simply select add task and then we can do the name. So Christmas, it might be unwrap presents. I can set a due date. So let's do that for the 25th of December. And at the moment, this plan, and I can see that by this icon here, is only viewable by me, is my personal one. So when I click into assign, it's only going to be me. Now, if I wanted to share this with someone, I could put in someone's name. And it's not going to come up. It's not going to like it. I think actually I have to share it first before it will let me assign it to someone else. So I'd have to go up and share it first. So at the moment, the only people I can assign these tasks to is myself. Why might I want to assign these tasks to myself, even though I'm the only one that can see this and I know I've got to do all of them? If I assign it to myself with a due date, when I click into my tasks, it's going to come up in the assigned to me. Let's see where it is. Not started. Let's search for it. Unwrap. And here I have it in there and it's not going to show me. It should come up there and it's not for some reason. Now, I've just gone out and I've lost the plan I was creating. So I'm going to click back into my plans and there's my training planner that I went into. And you know why it didn't show up? Because I put in those details and I forgot to do the most important thing, which was press this big purple add task. So let's do that again. Under Christmas, unwrap presents. Let's set the due date to December the 25th, assign it to myself, and this time I'm going to add the task. And now when I click back into my tasks, I've got unwrap in there, so I just delete that, but they're not started. Now I should see that unwrap presents in there. Hopefully it's right down the very bottom. And if it's not I'll do that search again. And it's come up. Okay, so that's why I might assign it to me. Again, to get back into that plan, I'm going to select My Plans, and then it's here. Now, while I'm in the My Plans, I mentioned about pinning when we first created it. You can also pin after the fact. So you can see that's got a pin that's blacked out. You can see that's in here. While I'm doing this, we can unpin it later, pin this one now. So I'm hovering over it and I'm going to select the pin, and then I can easily get it to it from that side menu. Okay, so we got this first task in. Great if there's only one bit of that task to do. However, sometimes tasks that we create can be quite complex. So if I want to add more steps to this task, Julie, I figured out why it wasn't, so that's all right. So I think we're all right. So if I want to add more steps, more bits to tick off, I can click in that task that I've just created, and then I've got some more things that I can do. So first of all, I can add a label. So there's a whole lot of colours that you can use. I like to rename them because pink doesn't make that much sense. So let's click on there. And for this one, I'm just going to call it presents. Let's rename the red food. Rename the yellow clean up. So you can create as many tags as you want or rename tags. And then we just click in here and we can click on them, and maybe we want to select a couple. Now, if I've created this task in the wrong bucket, I can choose a different bucket. Not started will show when I haven't ticked anything off. It will change if I add things to my checklist and start checking them off. I can, if this is going to be taking a longer period of time. So unwrapping presents is probably just a one-day thing. But if it was something that was going to be taking a while, actually in my house, we unwrap presents on the 25th and the 26th. So maybe I do that. So if I want to, I can add a time period, and that will mean if I go to that calendar view, it shows up over several days. The other thing in here is this do not repeat. So if you've got a task that you need to do regularly, so maybe every week I need to go in and check leave requests or something like that. I could set this to weekly or monthly or yearly, or customize that, what day it's going to appear on, or whether it's 2 days or 3 days, etc. So that I don't have to do the same task all the time, but it's just going to come up. Now, if I do that, I want to change my start date and my due date to the end of that time period. So for this one, let's just change it back to does not repeat. I can add in a note. So it could be sit around the tree and unwrap presents. And then I can add a checklist. So it might be stockings full. And if I just click underneath, it's going to add a new item, bin for wrappers, snacks, people, etc. So I can add the different things. And if I've added snacks here, maybe I want to go up and add food as a tag as well. Now, the other thing I can add is attachments. So if there's a document that's necessary or someone needs that information, I can go in and add an attachment and add it. I can't add a link. It's going to upload the file. If I do a website, you can add a link. But if I add a file, it will add a copy to that file. Okay, there's this other tick box here. So show on card, these are going to show up on my card. Actually, let's just click out and see that now. You can see I've got those things there. To go back and edit, just click on there. If I want these notes to show up, I can click that instead. And now you can see my details are there rather than my checkbox. So let's go back to the checkbox. The other thing is, and it's not going to do it on this one because it's my personal one, but if I've got it in a shared one, I can also do comments. So I'll show you that in a moment. Okay, so hopefully everyone successfully put in a task. Let's add another one. So let's add one to Boxing Day. This might be cook lunch. Again, let's put in my due date. Assign it to me so it comes up in my list. And the most important thing, add task. No worries, Rebecca. And then I can go back in there and add my label. So this one's food. I might want to add or relabel something. So I'll go in here and change my green. Change my green to entertainment. And again, I might put in here oven preheat, chop veg, set table, etc. Okay, so hopefully everyone has at least managed to do that. Again, if I've got it in the wrong column, I can just click and drag it. If I go into here, I can copy it as well. So that one's really handy if I've got things that are quite similar. So I might cook lunch on Boxing Day and Christmas Day. So I can go in and copy it without having to redo all my things again. The other thing you might be wanting to do is make it look a little bit nicer. So I can go up to here and click on my planner's name. If I made a mistake or want to change that name, I can do that here. So instead of that, I'm going to call it Christmas. And then I can also add some backgrounds as well. Oh, here we go, Christmas trees. So it will generate that. Now, that's really good if you want to do your own organizing. However, where Planner is really powerful is, as I showed you in those couple of examples, if you're organising events with colleagues or working on projects with colleagues or doing anything with colleagues where there's lots of different tasks that need to be completed and you need to track who is doing what so that everyone's on the same page and everyone can see what progress is made, then Planner is a really good tool. However, as we saw, I couldn't share or add someone else in here unless I shared it. So if I go to the share up the top here, I can create a group or add to an existing group. So when I click add to an existing group, it will give me all the teams that I belong to. Now, in this example, you probably don't want to add your planner that's for your training today to a team that's got lots of members in it. So we might just duck into Teams and just create a fake team, a training team for today. So let's do that first and then we can add it in. So I've got Teams installed on my desktop. So I'm going to go there now. If you don't have Teams installed, you can, again, let's just close that down. If you've still got the EdPass portal open, you can get to Teams there. And again, I'm just going to pause for a moment and wait for people to give me a thumbs up while they get Teams open. So hopefully people got Teams open. We're just going to create a team. We can delete it afterwards. So in Teams, make sure you've got Teams selected in the at the left-hand menu. Select Join or Create Team. And then we're just going to create a team. We're just going to choose the other type team. This is just going to be a blank team with no funny things in the back end. In our tenancy, you have to make it private. So let's make it private. Again, I'm just going to call this Planner Test November 2026. Not worry about description and just select Create. Okay, so that's been created. If I click into Teams again, I should see in here that Planner. Here we go, Planner Test November. Okay, so it's a brand new team. It's completely empty. You could, or if I do add a member, that's when I can now assign things. We're running out of time, so I'm not going to do that now, but we are going to jump back into Teams now so that we can put our plan into this brand new team. So I'm going to go back to my browser. I'm going to go back into my Planner tab, and then again, I'll just wait for people to give me a thumbs up because I know I've moved a little bit quickly there. So this time, when I select Share in the top right, I can go to Add to Existing Group. And now in Select Group, I should see that Planner, and I might have to search again. Here we go, Planner Test November. Once I've done that, I can add it. And there it is. You'll see now here that instead of that purple logo, I've got the red, which is the same as in my Teams. And if there was more than one person in that team that I just created, if I went to assign, instead of just me, I'd see all my team members in there. Now, it's all very well adding this to a team. Yes, it means I can now go ahead and assign all the members of the team to different things in this planner board. However, if people aren't living in Planner all the time, they might miss things. You are going to get an email if you're assigned a task. So you will get an email to let you know. But one of the ways you can make it easier for people to view tasks and update them is if you actually add your plan as a tab in Teams. So I'm going back into my Teams. I'm just in the general channel, but you can add it to whatever channel you want in a team. You could even perhaps have a channel that is planner boards. Just remember, the fewer channels you have in a team, the better. I'm going to go to that plus here, and then I can add apps. Now, when I select apps, I've got Planner here, but it might not pop up to you. So I'm just going to put it in the search. So I can select that. I'm going to save it. Now, you can create a new plan directly in Teams. I don't recommend doing this because you don't have all the functionality and all the features and all the design things if you create it in Teams. So I suggest you do it in Planner, and then you select this option here, add an existing plan. It will only show you the plans in here that you've already shared to this team. So when I select that drop down, I'm just going to see that training Christmas. So I can't create a plan, share it with a different team, and then add it as a tab in a different team. So add to channel. And here you can see it's in there. So now if people are in this team, they can just go up the top and select that tab there and see that plan directly in the team. They've got the same functionality that they can go to grid or schedule or charts and see everything that they would in Planner. Now, I realise I've gone over time, so I will send some follow-up resources. I will just quickly end though with just some of the resources that I do like to share at the end. Our team does have our own YouTube channel, and there are some videos around Planner in there. Not many, but there are a couple, one of which is adding it as a web app. So that might be useful if you are using Planner a lot. You can see I've got it added down the bottom, so I don't have to open my browser all the time with a separate tab. The other resource for you to look out for is OMPLink. And OMPLink, if you go to Explore, you can see digital skills. And if you haven't visited here yet, again, not specific to Planner, but we have all sorts of things on here, including the courses that we run, but there's also video resources and different information about the applications that the department has agreements with. And then finally, we also have, again, not restricted to Planner, but if you have questions about Planner, this is the place to go. So we do have a team within the department called the M365 Apps Support and Collaboration Team. And again, I just put that link there, where if you've got questions about anything to do with Microsoft, there is a tab for Planner. You can ask and someone will respond. So with that, apologies for going slightly over, but we would also love your feedback. So I'll just pop the link to the feedback here. I'm happy to stay around for a little bit longer if anyone has any other questions. But otherwise, hopefully you found that session useful and you can start planning away and organising your life.